136 million years ago, a family of Utahraptors were out hunting. The group of Utahraptors had picked up the scent of a herbivore just a little bit further into the woods. With 4 mouths to feed, failing this hunt could mean starvation. But this Utah has been preparing for years. However, to get here, there were plenty of lessons along the way. There was failure, hardships, and even loss. But to go with that was also the triumph, the experience, and dominating the landscape that it lives in. To pave the way for the next generation of raptors, you must start from the beginning, live, and learn. Life for this Utahraptor starts on a dusty morning. Surrounded by unfamiliar scenery, it was a case of finding my feet and then finding some food. Now I know for a fact these aren't edible, but we'll do it because it's a mission and we need those to grow. So most of you are probably aware, but for those who don't, completing simple tasks across the map can speed up your growth dramatically. Now I was about to meet some people that I was not expecting to meet quite this early into my life. Oh, it's another Utah. Hello, sir. Oh, it's 2. 2 Utahs already. I've literally only just started. They too weren't fully grown and were also finding their way. And if there's one thing everyone knows, it's raptors are much stronger in packs. Okay, well I'm going to roll with these guys then. That's a good start. Safety in numbers. And that is exactly what we did. However, at our size, we were hunting large frogs. But it was a good chance for us to hone in on some of our skills, learn some new abilities, and just get a general feel for the life as a Utahraptor. These big old frogs take a beating. But one of these frogs will keep all 3 of us fed, so especially at this size, there's plenty of food for all 3 of us. Some creatures though were just a little bit more intrusive than others. Some we have to hunt, and others, they come to you. I love how he had so long to hit me, and he stood there and still missed. And again, when there's multiple of us like this, obviously, one of us can like lead it around, and the other 2 can pick away and bite it, and then when it goes for them, I can turn around and I can chase. It had been a long, dusty day of hunting creatures, and so we made our way over to the lake to get ourselves a little refreshment. However, this was our first reminder that there were some rather large and possibly dangerous dinosaurs out there. Thankfully, the big bird seems to be relatively chill, otherwise I think we'd be in trouble. It was a very daunting sight seeing that bird flying over our heads with a massive wingspan. But being a popular drinking spot, we knew not to hang around. This dinosaur may have been friendly, but not everyone will be. So me and the pack, we decided to move on towards Green Hills. Now life may be looking good, but everything can turn on its head in an instant. This looks a bit dodgy, but I think because we're light and semi-agile, yeah, we don't take too much damage at the moment, so... As we went, I carried on performing random tasks for the growth gods. Every crossing was just a little bit more unnerving as we ventured further into more unfamiliar territory. And the lack of other life was becoming slightly concerning. So I guess we just do a bit of questing around here. Get a little bit more growth. There was a chill to the wind. An unfamiliar scent carried in the air. Something was nearby. I feel kind of exposed here. Like, it's pretty open. As much as it's hills, it's pretty open. And thus, when over the hill, I noticed 3 dinosaurs that were definitely not Utahraptors. Guys, I think this is a good time to leave. This is not a winnable fight. At least I don't think so. There's 3 of them. If there's 1, fine. We need to go. Now, maybe I made a mistake, maybe I didn't. But where I'd started to retreat, I'd put distance between me and the other Utahraptors. And it didn't take long before we had our first victim. I can't get there in time. I'm trying to come back, but look how quick they're dying. I don't even know if this would have been winnable. I already know what the comments are going to say. I can't get there in time, man. I'm going, but look at the chunky damage he takes. So I know people are going to say I let my pack die, but honestly, I'd already made the decision not to fight. And I still stick to my guns, and I genuinely believe that wasn't a winnable fight. Oh man, I feel bad though. But look, I need to survive. You learn from these things. This is DNA passed into my my kids if I ever have eggs. It was honestly a brutal start to life. And as quickly as I had found a group, I'd also just witnessed them getting slaughtered. Danger was honestly around every corner. Well, we can sit and we can mourn, or we can continue on. And the lonely journey continues. Oh my god, I wasn't expecting him. That was a very instinctive bite. Wasn't expecting to cross paths with anyone. And apart from the odd fleeting moment like that, there really wasn't many encounters. Life was particularly lonely. What's that down there? There's someone down there. I can't really tell. It kind of looks a little bit like maybe a young Spino. It also kind of looks like the dinosaur that killed my friends. So a little bit of pattern recognition coming into play here. Whatever it was had led me straight into a place where I wouldn't have trouble finding anyone. I had stumbled into one of the most dangerous areas on the whole island. If an inexperienced player arrives here on their own, they can very quickly find themselves in trouble. And you don't even need to go looking. Trouble will find you, and it will find you fast. After assessing the situation I found myself in, I realised I needed to get into the dark woods. This was a neighbouring section of the map which was safer than where I was now. However, to get there, I would need to cross, and the river was occupied. Does seem like he doesn't want any trouble, so one less obstacle. With the benefit of having agility, I was able to use the rocks to scramble over and scurry away from danger. However, the dark woods had a surprise for me yet. Inside the dark woods is a small pond. In fact, it's the only water source within the woods itself, so anyone in the area is drawn to this water to quench their thirst. And it's the very place I would bump into some very familiar dinosaurs. This time I didn't just bump into 2 young Utahraptors. This was a whole pack. 4 other fully grown Utahraptors in the same area that I was in. Needless to say, it was a no-brainer to join their pack. I can go now from hunting things like small creatures to other large dinosaurs. Oh, and you know that really scary place that I said was a very dangerous place to be? That's exactly where we're headed. Because now, we are much stronger than I was when I was on my own. We started by spreading out in the bushes. This time targets would be much more calculated, we wouldn't take any silly fights, and we would make sure that we actually had a chance to make it out alive. Even if that meant saying no to some fights. Yeah, these guys seem a bit chunky. I'm not sure we take this. Even for all of us, there's 2, 3 of them? I think we're all in agreement here when we say, not this one. However, a semi-grown dinosaur found himself looking downrange at 6 Utahraptors. Probably not the place to be. Oh, these guys just don't stand a chance, man. Suddenly, all the odds had turned into our favour, and we were now eating like kings. And whilst half the pack hunted where I was hunting, the other half had caught something further up ahead. Ooh, what have we got here? You see, when there's an abundance of food, there tends to be a temporary peace. A truce of sorts. But that doesn't mean that everybody doesn't have an eye on each other. Nobody here is friends, and everybody here gets hungry. That is absolute chaos down there. We decided to run in just to cause a little bit more chaos, because why not? I don't think anyone knows where to even start. The thing is, at any moment, any of those could just turn around and start a fight with us. And we could be in trouble. Yeah, like, see, the birds are already getting involved. We're gonna get separated if we're not careful. And exactly as expected, it all started to go south quite quick. I'm gonna save you. Let's get some bites in. Yeah, okay, you're gonna fly off. Oh my god, there's so many big herbivores up here now as well. Oh my god, no. Oh, we're gonna lose a raptor. Yeah, this is a retreat kind of fight. That got 0 to 100 quite quick. And with the group spreading, I suddenly found myself as the next target. Oh my god. And there's no one nearby to help. Like, everyone's hurt because everyone's had their own little fight. We got attacked by so many different dinosaurs that we've all just been separated. I'm running out of stamina. Thankfully, Jack was nearby and was able to at least harass the bird enough to try and buy me some time. This doesn't look good. He won't leave me alone. Oh my god, no, come on. No, I'm actually gonna die. It was a good life. We fought hard. Is he gone? Oh my god, he's flown away. Jack has saved my life. Jack, thank you. Jack had done enough damage to the bird to buy me enough time to see another day. And what was more incredible about that whole experience was we didn't actually lose a single raptor, but we did gain some lessons in picking fights. And so we made our way down to the water to get a little drink, whilst we thought about our life choices. Yeah, we bit off a bit more than we could chew there, but we're all here. We learnt from it, and we're all alive, so we can take that forward. We made our way back to where the chaos had taken place just a day before. However, the miserable weather had forced dinosaurs into hiding. But this presented itself as a perfect opportunity for us. With less other dinosaurs around, we were afraid to just focus on the ones that hadn't hidden. This guy is toying with us. won't lie though, it's actually kind of fun. I could do this all afternoon. It's like a mini game within a game. But he was actually pushing his luck. He was getting hurt. And eventually it was just one bite too many. Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, how do you like that? What is it with all the kamikaze birds around here? These birds all have a death wish. But we didn't need to fight any birds. A new opportunity had presented itself. In true pack hunting fashion, one by one, we slowly took chunks out of the apex predator. With attacks coming from every angle, there was really nothing he could do. Wow, that felt good. That was fun. It's scary how strong when you work together as a pack. There really isn't much stronger. Our bellies were full, but our ambition and our hunger to hunt as a pack was only just getting started. We're honestly just slowly flushing out every dinosaur from their hiding spot. And I'm pretty sure whilst we hunt this, they're literally hunting something else over there as well. We are hunting everyone in the area. Yet another victim had fallen to the raptor pack. This area was getting more dangerous by the minute for anyone who wasn't a Utahraptor. I feel like we can quite happily just sit here and watch the action unfold. There was still 2 dinosaurs, however, that had been giving us trouble since we got here. And once again, being 2 of them, it was just a bit too much. Ow, that's a concussion. Yeah, that's a big kick. That's a monster kick. And once again, to these same 2 dinosaurs, we tucked our tails and ran. Once again, we'd been put in our place by the iguanodon. It was starting to become an unnerving place to any dinosaur that found themselves on their own in the Grand Plains. One by one, we would surround our prey, and they would either flee, or they would die. This guy's chosen the peace out, see you later route. He doesn't want to fight. And with a few other dinosaurs down there, I don't know if it's worth chasing. We'll just get a third party there. That's a bit of a hot spot, that spot there. Sure enough, he headed down to the water, and then yet another fight broke out. At this point we had earned the respect of a lot of dinosaurs in the area, but equally we had also learnt to respect those that would give us a hard time. On the opposite hill to where I was sitting, another Utahraptor had actually started a fight with one of our pack members. Little did they know that Utah wasn't on his own. And gradually, one by one, we made our way over to help our team out. Once he realised how many of us there were, he basically just stood there and gave up. Imagine picking a fight with your own. Come on, man. Oh God, no! Just when everything seemed to calm down, one of our Utahraptors got grabbed by a crocodile. Thankfully, I don't know whether it was because I bit him or whether he just ran out of stamina, but we were able to set him free. That was incredibly close. Oh my God. That is living life on the edge. Once again, we have all survived somehow another day. And then one by one, the pack started to log out. And that truly marked the end of a brilliant chapter. So when I logged back in the next day, I found myself completely on my own in one of the most dangerous places on the map. It was safe to say I scooted out of there as quick as I could. But we had learned a lot about ourselves, what we were capable of, what we weren't, what our strengths were and what our weaknesses were. This would be super useful when passing on our knowledge to our young. For now, however, it was back to our adventure as a solo. I would search around the map until I'd find somewhere that I deemed suitable to start my own family. Along the way, I started to hear some loud footsteps nearby. A pack of herbivores were in the area. However, what I didn't realise was just how close to one of them I was. Have you noticed them yet? Oh my God, there's something there. Oh my God! Oh, I had no idea. That was so dark. I had no idea. It was literally whatever that is. Pachyrhinoceros, ceratops, and giraffe. It was there next to me. Now I may have got the species just a little bit wrong, But it doesn't change the fact that I was completely taken off guard. Now you see, when I was in a pack, maybe we could have targeted one of them, singled it out and hunted it. But on my own, this was a mammoth challenge. Don't know if there's much point in me doing this. I'm gonna get myself killed. Yeah, the daddy long legs is gonna kill me. He looks pretty strong. They're just gonna keep protecting each other too. I think this is a move on job. Once again, I had figured out just how hard it was to hunt when you don't have a pack. For me, it was back to small creatures. Okay, so I actually need some food fairly shortly because stomach is emptying. I think a part of me is just, this is where I found raptors once upon a time. Maybe there'll be more. Although that was not a raptor. What was that? I found myself hearing noises in the trees, and it wasn't something my size. Where did that come from? Over there fighting. There's two dinosaurs over there. Are they fighting each other? I think they might be. Oh my god, that's a massive snake. That's a ginormous snake. I'm not fighting that. That is gonna kill me. Giant snakes aside, I was starting to get a bit disorientated. There was noises from large dinosaurs coming from everywhere around me, but I couldn't pinpoint any of them. It looks like he's now fighting the big snake, and by that I mean he's just killed the big snake. The problem is I just can't get any food because they eat it, or they'll see me if I go to eat it. We're just going to have to very carefully tiptoe around. Oh, I don't know, is he coming this way though? No, not good. There he is. There was so much going on in the woods, and yet I couldn't find any of it, and I couldn't give myself enough of a break to try and catch something. Yeah, I think he might have spotted me actually. I think this might be time to run. Maybe not. What's this now? There's more. Mate, this woods is popping off. But I need quiet because I need to hunt some food. Eventually I found a small creature and I decided to just go for it. Okay, thankfully it's kind of died in a nice little hidden spot, so I can at least get some food in my belly because that was getting quite close. And eventually I moved on from the dark woods and I found a place to put down a nest and start my own family. Oh, we've come so far. We have so much to pass on to the next generation of Utahraptor. Now once I'd topped up my nest with the adequate amount of rocks and mud, the first hatchling began to hatch. This would mark the beginning in the next generation of the Utahraptor. Everything I've learnt I'll pass on to my chick, in hope that one day they pass it on to theirs. Where is this little guy? There he is. Let's get you in the group. But now this came with a different responsibility. I didn't just have to feed myself, I had to feed another. And this meant I was gonna have to hunt bigger, spikier food. Okay, this guy can use his attacks really quickly, and he's actually quite fast as well. This is a super dangerous hunt. I don't think this is one that I should really be trying. But I was a parent now, and it was driving me to take crazy risks. My chick needed food, but also if I die, there's a chick left without a parent. Eventually, both of us decided it was in our best interests to just end the fight and move on with our lives. I'm not really sure how he's attacking in front of him with his tail. I'm getting some Stego Isle vibes there. Anyway, that's enough of that fight. It was time to hunt something maybe a little bit smaller. Something that maybe doesn't fight back. So this will put some food in my belly, which means I can put some food in my nest and at least keep my young alive. This was just simply a case of needs must. And then we had a sibling. Our pack was growing one at a time. As much as I'd found a safe place for the nest, danger was always everywhere. If that was to see my young, they would almost definitely be snatched. Eventually I was joined by another fully grown Utahraptor. Good job, chicks. Learning to hunt on the small stuff, look. It's a good start. Eventually, however, it was time to hit the road, and with one of the chicks logging out, it was just the four of us left to hunt. The chicks were keener than ever to get stuck in, but they had to be careful because out there was dangers far larger than they were. And we weren't even 300 meters down the road before we picked up our first scent. Lo and behold, in a clearing in the trees, a small to medium-sized herbivore had spotted us. Okay, if we're gonna hunt, it's gotta be now. It's running. I think we go for it. This is it. Chicks, first hunt. And a first hunt it was. This was our chance to show the chicks how to catch some food. And given everything I've learned in my life with the pack hunting, it was time to put it all into practice. The two adult Utahs led the way and the chicks followed. I have no idea if we're actually going to catch this. It seems kind of fast. But the beauty of having two of us is one can rest while the other runs. Thankfully though, the herbivore didn't seem to be able to gain much ground. And then it was my turn to take over. I used a kick that increases the stamina drain of the target. And with nowhere else to go, it was just a matter of time. The chicks had caught up and were learning everything they could, even trying to join in at times. Oh, I'm out of stamina. I think it might be too late for him though. It was a successful hunt. I let the rest of the pack eat before I decided to get my fill. Eventually, with some full bellies, we made our way further down the river. However, it was here that we found our first obstacle. I don't know if the chicks can make this. Oh, there's a Spino. I think they just fell at completely the wrong time. Or just the right time. Go on, little guy, you can do it. Thankfully though, they had just missed that Spino by a second or two. With the kids safe, we could carry on our journey. Nowhere particularly in mind, we were just migrating north. Well, this place has some memories for me. This, kids, is where I lost my first pack mates. Alright kiddos, time for you to learn to hunt some small creatures, just like I had to. Sink them claws in, boys. Oh, that was so close. Oh my god, I'm sorry. He ran straight in front of me and I nearly killed one of my own. Whoopsie. As the sun set on another successful day, the family was feeling good. We had some full bellies, some successful hunts, and we continued migrating north. Now I think, yeah, that's a small dasp, I believe. These kids are a little keen to get involved. They need to learn stalking. That's the next lesson. Now this dasp didn't realise that he'd already been spotted, so as much as he was hiding in some bushes, I knew exactly where to look. At this point, the kids were probably more like teenagers. They were getting larger and their bites were starting to do more damage. We were starting to feel a little bit more like a pack again. But you know what they say about all good things. That is some large steps. They're so big. Oh man. Oh no, Max is sleeping. Max, you gotta get up. I don't know if he actually knows that he's there. He maybe just thinks it's a body. At first he was only interested in the food we had. But then... oh god, no, he's going for the shakes. Guys, run. Run, 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 run. This time with kids, I was going to put my own life before theirs. There's only so much I can do. The thing is, he's just ignoring me and I don't think I'm doing much damage. The young Utah just wasn't able to outrun the large Kakara. No, Max! Oh no. Oh, that actually sucks, man. Why? Time to go, come on. But the big guy wasn't done yet. And just like that, I had lost both of my chicks. I'd lived a pretty incredible life. I'd lost pack members before, but nothing could really prepare me for this kind of loss. This just goes to show there's not always a happy ending. But this also doesn't mean it's the end of a tale. It's just the end of another chapter. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all in the next tale.